Hey, we're recording.
We're recording, which is a good thing because we just recorded and it didn't record.
And I did that on purpose to get out of building a shoe shelf for my mom. Are you okay?
Yes, I am.
Do you need a drink?
I got one right there.
Okay. So yesterday I'm driving to my mom's from. Oh no, I wasn't driving to. Yeah, I was driving to shoot a wedding, and then I was coming here after the wedding I shot because it was on the mid coast, and I saw this man. Okay, hear me out. It didn't look like this man was pushing this. Okay.
I'm hearing you out.
I saw a man pushing a shopping cart into the woods. However, the shopping cart was not moving. The woods had no path, and he was walking. So it looked like an NPC.
What's NPC?
Wait. What is nerds? Let me know. Non-player character.
Oh, on Sims?
Yeah, like basically like a character in like a video game that is just
Can't move?
is just kind of like glitching out and not really a real person because you're not actually playing them as you know? So it just was a bizarre sight. It just looked like he was like glitching in the universe. He was just walking, but the cart wasn't moving. And this actually reminds me that one time I took a video when I was with Courtney in Kokatosi of a little girl on a bicycle, but she was stuck in a pothole, and so she like was biking so fast, but the bike was not moving at all. But it wasn't clicking in her head. So I have this video from like years and years and years ago. Now that I'm saying this out loud, don't record children. No, I'm like, huh? But we were children.
Yeah.
And she's just like sitting there happily riding her bike, but the bike is not moving. The wheels are turning, but the bike's just
And you didn't help
sitting
her?
there. No. It was just so funny. Again, one of those like moments where you're just like, what is
You're not going
what
to
am I
help.
looking at?
It's too funny.
Yeah, I want it for I need to have the visual.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But anyways,
So this guy is on Route 3.
Or
which is
1.
heavily rural, or Route 1.
Yeah, it was super wooded area. There were no houses nearby. So he very well could have been living in the woods.
Yeah.
And that is sad. But to me, driving by, that's not what I was gauging.
Yeah, it's like those one-time moment, those images that you and I have a habit of like picking up on, like the time we were driving and the cow was running in the ditch.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a flash. You see it, but you can't wrap your head around it.
Yeah. There was one of those moments and I was just like, what is going on here? Did I just see that? It kind of like it's a did I just see that moment.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
My mom has a good one of those, but she won't tell it on the podcast.
Yeah, don't be making these people feel
and
bad
or
for
the
missing the
TikTok
start.
because she's afraid. But it's not even that bad. It's just
I'm not going to argue the point.
okay. Well, I want the people to be on my side. They want to hear it.
The people.
Yeah.
The people.
I want the people.
So when Hillary told me the shopping cart story, I said, let's talk about that on the pod. And
Yes,
I have a shopping cart
you
story.
You came through with the theme for this one immediately. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. Like an hour before we're going to shoot it.
I know. This is amazing.
So I was able to go to my diary and pull out this little story that involves a shopping cart. And it still makes me laugh. It's written on Sunday, January 7th, 1973. So the thing that's good about this story is it was written right when it happened.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'll let you read the story.
Want to hear a funny story?
Did you write that to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have this theory that my mom, in her old age, has visited herself in her youth and told her to write things like that as if she just knew that we were going to be recording these podcasts one day, even though podcasts weren't even invented yet.
Yeah. Who was I talking about? Talking to? Want to hear a funny story? Yes, Lynn, I do.
Yourself.
Last night, Mom and Dad went out to DeMillo's to eat and dance with their friends.
The floating boat.
The floating boat.
AKA a boat.
It's a well-known restaurant in Portland that's been there for decades. 50 years ago it was there. And it still is.
Still on a boat.
Actually, it wasn't a boat back in the 70s.
It wasn't?
It was a
It
regular.
was on land?
It was on. Yes.
Its whole appeal is that it's on a boat.
I know. But it was also
Because
appealing.
it's a pretty mid restaurant.
It was a restaurant your dad went to a lot for lunch.
I know. He was such a DeMillo's guy.
Okay. So Mom and Dad went out to DeMillo's to eat and dance with their friends. On the way home.
This is why you thought I could dance at restaurants. Who's dancing at DeMillo's?
Whoa, they sometimes would have a singer.
I want to dance at DeMillo's.
Yeah. Well, maybe they went out to
Let's host.
dance somewhere else.
Oh,
I don't know.
we should host a dance at DeMillo's.
On the way home, they saw this shopping cart on Bucknam Road on the overpass of Route 95.
Is that the highway?
Yeah. Route 95.
Route? I didn't know it was called Route. I thought it was I-95.
Probably. Oh, good point.
Yeah, thank you.
They stopped and put it in the car with the intention that Dad would take it back to Shaw's.
Wait, I need everyone to know that how off-brand this is for Andy and Ozzy to pick up a shopping cart on the side of the road. I guess very on-brand to, like, want to do a good deed.
Right.
To, like, return it.
But the idea
But also,
that you see
why?
a shopping cart on the side of the road and you stop and you put it in.
Where was it in the car?
They had a station wagon, so they must have pulled down the way back thing and shoved it in there.
Okay.
So they put it in their car, their station wagon. They started driving along when this other car containing, as I said, quote, 4 intoxicated guys passed them on the wrong side.
What? Like
So-
in the on the sidewalk?
So I feel like passed them, you're supposed to pass on the left. They passed them on the right.
Yeah. In like the breakdown lane.
Right. Anyway, they almost hit the car. They hollered out and wanted to know why Dad had taken the shopping cart.
I mean, valid question.
Dad's friend bantered with them for a while, saying, "We bought it." According to Mom, one of the guys said, "No, you didn't. We saw you take that cart."
What? They were watching them.
The guys went on to say, and this is not funny. This is where a funny story turns serious. Okay, you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
The guys went on to say that they had been planning to throw it over the bridge onto Route 95.
Wait. Why? For
No
fun?
idea.
Just to throw it?
Yep.
To hit cars?
And why did they admit it? Why did they tell it?
That's
Why?
weird.
Why?
Overshares. Don't tell me about the crime you're about to commit.
As Dad says, they could have killed someone had they done that. And I love how I wrote this next line. Anyway, the conversation terminated.
I am going to use that from now on and say, sorry, this conversation is terminated.
Anyway, the conversation terminated, and as circumstances were, they couldn't see the license plate of the car.
What are these circumstances?
Maybe they might have been drinking. I don't know.
Do you think they blocked out the license plate so they could commit crimes? They don't seem that. They don't seem that smart.
You know how when you're in the middle of an emergency bizarre situation?
Yeah, sure. What? That didn't.
You know, you're in the middle of an emergency bizarre situation.
You're just gonna repeat yourself.
Like when the owl attacked you in your car.
Yeah.
And your mind goes into a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they probably looked at the license plate. I can see my mother saying, Osmond, don't engage with these.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here and let's get home.
Let's skedaddle.
So when they got home, which let me add here, getting home from Buckingham Road to my parents was a mile, maybe. We didn't have to go too far with the cart. And when they got home, they put the shopping cart in our front yard.
Why? This actually shocks me because it feels like something Annie would do where she'd be like, Osman, put it in the garage. I'm like, I don't want to see it on the lawn.
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, so this morning, Mom and Dad were going out the door to church, and this car drove into the U-turn. Dad saw the window of the car roll down.
Like this?
Roll down. Because they didn't have automatic.
And it's like probably squeaking a little bit. Is he just standing in the doorway?
No, they're already out there. Mom and Dad came out the door.
Oh.
A hand came out with a camera.
What?
Picture snapped. Then they drove away.
Do they peel away?
I didn't note such.
I just wish I knew more detail. Like, how far did the window roll down? So was it a tinted window so all they saw was a hand come out and go, tsh.
And I want to know if it was a passenger in the car and a driver.
Well, it must have been, right? Oh, I guess that does.
In
my
with
head,
one hand.
Yeah.
And as I wrote, isn't that a scream? They got a picture of Mom, Dad, and the cart.
It is a scream. You're right, Tiny Clod. Oh my God.
Dumb Dad. I repeat, dumb Dad didn't get that license either. People were worried apparently about getting caught in their surreptitious activities.
I guess not.
One theory Dad advances is that when the Portland Press Herald guy delivered the Sunday paper, he saw the cart on their lawn and thought it would make a good news story.
What about that would make a good news story? Falmouth family steals Shaw's cart. Actually, I'd read that. Now that I'm saying that out loud.
Well, in this case, which is an important point, Falmouth town manager.
Oh, steals Shaw's shopping cart. Iconic.
We're just waiting to see tomorrow's paper.
Wait, can I story pause for a second again?
Yep.
Was this a paper boy that was like, this is my big break to get my story in the newspaper? And he was like, this is, do I have a story for you? TMC?
Well, like
TMZ?
TMC, the TV show.
TMZ?
Yeah.
Are you saying C or Z? Okay, I just wasn't understanding.
Okay. Dad called the chief of police.
Why? Why? To report himself?
To report that he'd stolen off Buckingham Road.
Did the boys in the car steal that cart originally, drop it off at the bridge, and thought, let's go drinking some more, and then we'll come back and throw it off? Like, that seems like so much work to me. Do you think they just drove by and turned around?
Nuttiest story.
Do you think they turned around and were like, ooh, we'll come back for that and throw that?
Maybe the timing had been they had just driven it by, but before they could get to it, Dad had saved the shopping cart.
And the lives of the people
Down
on
below.
I-95. Wow.
This is one of these serious stories that's actually hilarious because nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was thinking, I had never thought this before until just now.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the boys in the car that came back in the morning to take their picture.
Maybe.
No, they'd still be sleeping it off.
Maybe they're in cahoots with the paper boy.
The police.
Maybe they planted that there.
Buckingham Road is a bridge. Where they were, where I picture it, was on the bridge.
I know exactly where it's like in between Portland and Falmouth, right?
No.
Oh.
It's like as you're heading Okay, so you're where we used to live, and you're heading in. Those schools are on your left.
Yeah.
You take a right to go down to the shopping center.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
road right where you take the right?
Oh,
That's
got it, got
Buckner
it, got
Road.
it. Yeah.
Um. Anyway, the police chief said those carts were worth $110. I thought that was pretty specific.
That's specific, and also like I feel like that can't be true. And also, who cares?
Still in the cart itself, they were making a.
Why is that what the police chief was like? Oh wow, those are so like shut up. Why do you care so much?
Imagine my father as town manager. Somebody's taking, I mean, it is like somebody's trying to do a gotcha moment. Why is the town manager
Yeah, they're pranking
have
him.
a
They're
shopping
pranking
cart
him.
on his front lawn? They
Yeah,
weren't pranking him.
wait,
They were
that
like,
is good gossip.
yeah,
That's they were just fishing for some gossip.
yeah. And then this is typical of me. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And then my last line of that entry was kind of exciting, huh?
That is crazy.
It's just one of those life's mysteries.
Well, I want to know what happened at the end. Did Ozzy bring the cart back to Shaw's? Was there a police escort? Did the boys ever get in trouble? Where are the boys now?
The thing is,
Did the paper boy ever get an article in the newspaper?
Or a photo credit?
Yeah. I have so many questions.
I went on the website to look at the Polar Press Herald website from January.
To see?
Was there any reference to shopping carts or anything? I didn't find anything.
Oh my god.
I'd die if I found something.
Oh, that would be the best. Also, the other thing I want to know. Where's that picture of Annie and Ozzy in the shopping cart? My god.
It makes me think about pictures that get surreptitiously taken.
Do you think they were like this? Oh, wow. I know. And those people who have had like their significant others finding them in the background of a Disney photo from their childhood or something. That's so crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's my shopping cart story.
I have always wanted to open a vintage shop that was based on your experience, aesthetically, based on your experience at the Naples supermarket. And except with the added belt in which you could put your vintage down on the belt and then it goes down to the register for no other reason than entertainment.
Like an assembly line, but
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the grocery store, and then we'd have like if you want to separate things, you can put the
separator bars.
Yeah. And so Abby had found me a tiny shopping cart that I still look at to this day. It's just in my house, and I love looking at it. And every time I'm like, my little vintage store, my little Naples supermarket, and I kind of want to call it Naples Supermarket.
I think that's a good idea.
Or Naples Vintage
Naples
Supermarket
is in Naples, Maine. It's now Rick's Cafe, and as I've alluded to before or talked about before, I worked there for 7 crazy summers.
I wonder if we could I wonder if I could ever do a vintage pop-up at Rick's Cafe. And there's roosters out here if you can hear. And birds. Well, roosters are birds. Boats can float and roosters are birds. Is what we've learned this episode so far. But speaking of birds, the other day...
Wait, you didn't finish your story.
I didn't?
If you wanted to do a vintage pop-up at Rick's Cafe.
Cool. We can get you some water guns.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a way that I can
guys
climb up on the counters and dance like I used to.
Yeah, we'll find a way. We'll find a way.
Or I could sing everything I say.
Maybe we could yeah, that I'll leave. You don't have to do that. Maybe we could get like some sort of like crane or something to pick you up, put you on the table.
Do you know what a Hoyer lift is?
No.
Well,
no, stop teaching me things. I don't want to learn anything else.
Again, this is one of these things that's not really funny, but I'll probably end up in one someday because I have trouble moving
I
around.
can picture them now. They're in like a hospital where they like lift you out of bed and
Yeah.
put you in a chair.
That's what we need to get me up on the counter.
Okay, I think we could arrange that.
Okay.
Does anyone have any connects? Do you think, or maybe we could get sponsored by the company that makes those?
Yeah, no.
Oh. Anyways, that if anyone has any good vintage grocery store, I'm wary of calling it vintage grocery store because I don't want people to think I sell
Vintage
old.
grocery store what? You need a noun.
No, I don't.
If anybody has a vintage grocery store. Oh, you're talking literally if there's a empty vintage grocery store.
No, I'm not. You're not letting me finish my sentence. You just keep interrupting me.
All right.
What's new? I actually don't remember what I was going to say.
If anybody has a vintage grocery store that you could do a pop-up in.
No, I guess I didn't. I meant like, oh man, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Wow. Yeah. If you have a vintage grocery store. But I was thinking of if I ever called something vintage grocery store, I wouldn't want people to think like old food.
Well, yeah. And that definitely was old food when I worked at Naples Supermarket.
I'm going
save the canned goods year to year.
Ew. That does not shock me.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Time.
I feel like now if you go to like small town Maine at like
Yeah.
I won't name names, but there are small town places where I've like picked up a candy bar and it's like full of dust and I'm like, have you had this for 35 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you not changed these out? Which I'm
Right.
pretty sure is true.
Yep.
And I'll still eat it.
Yeah, me too. That's the thing.
Sometimes you need a little treat. And you don't care if it's 35 years
have
old.
Luna Dune cookie that had fermented the other day.
Oh, that is disgusting. Where'd you pull that out of?
My
That's sick.
It was a backup snack for like 2 years. I finally needed it, took a bite, and I'm like, oh,
Ew.
my own fault.
Fermented. Disgusting.
Yeah, I didn't even know they could do that.
Stop eating things that ferment like a cookie.
I didn't know. I
That
was starving.
there must
all of
be
a sudden.
chemicals in that or something.
I was just starving. I had to have it.
You should write one of your letters to Lorna Dune.
What am I complaining?
Yeah. See if they'll give you
This
a
was
free
not
supply.
their fault.
free supply of Lorna
I
Dune.
like those cookies, Jen.
Lorna Dune. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're also do you think like to keep the vintage store as authentic as possible that well, did I already say this? We should get squirt guns? Because you
Yes,
use
because
squirt
I
guns?
used to
Okay.
surreptitiously squirt the customer.
Yeah, so we'll squirt
When
gun
they
the
turned
customer
around.
and then also we're gonna have cigarettes and beer behind the counter. Pretty cool, huh? Cigarettes make you cool.
I would know. I like that I knew when they
I
came
would
in.
know.
I would know what brand of cigarette they wanted before they got
Oh
up
my
to
God.
the counter.
They loved that.
And then
You probably just had it ready for them.
I just grabbed
like,
it.
throw the
And I was
back
really
in.
good with numbers back then.
What?
I was really good with numbers.
That's the most shocking thing you've ever
good
said.
with- I was good with being a cashier.
Not me. Twice at Bull Moose to the same guy. I tried to keep his change, but I owed him like $10 to $30 back. And then the second time I did it, he said, "Hey, you've already done this to me once," as if I was purposely doing it to the specific generic old man that I had no memory of. Just stealing his money.
Oh, God. So I was at a drive-through yesterday, and I got my order. And somehow, I think it was my fault, my debit card got dropped. And I have trouble with mobility, and the idea of opening my car and reaching down to get my debit card was a little overwhelming. But once I opened my door and I looked down, I saw there was a dime down there. I was psyched. Yes, I collect. One of my hobbies, one of my only hobbies. I collect found money.
Okay, but today she makes me pick up money on the ground. We found a quarter.
Where'd I put that quarter?
I don't know.
I gotta remember that.
I think you put it in your purse, probably that you were holding. So she finds a quarter, which is big money.
That's big money for found money.
But then we go through a drive-through, and she hands me cash to pay, which was nice, thank you, for my coffee. But she's like, "Don't give me the change back. I don't want that dime." I'm like, for a lady who exclaims, "I have change," to me so often, don't you dare walk past change on the ground. You keep that. You pick it up.
Yeah.
And then you simultaneously get mad at me if I ever hand you back.
Yeah, and I
change.
am kind of upset that you say you spotted 93 cents yesterday on the ground.
I did. I'm really sorry. But,
That's a windfall.
yeah.
That's a windfall.
Okay, but listen, hear me out. I saw it there, and I thought maybe someone will find that needs it more than me.
Well, that's true.
Or like a little kid will find it and be like, "Look at all this money I found." But in hindsight, that probably wasn't going to happen because where I saw it was this super fancy, like food store that everything is way too expensive at, and so the people walking in and out of there
Didn't care. Look,
so I was trying to do a
it's
good
hard
thing.
for me to bend down and pick up anything, let alone a penny, which you have to like have fingernails for. But
Yeah, but you do it.
once I was walking in Illinois across the highway with my husband.
Why? Across the highway?
Yeah, it was like a 4-lane.
Were you supposed to be on there?
Yeah, it was close to my stepson's house,
Okay.
and in order to walk to the coffee place, we had to we had to cross a busy road. Maybe it wasn't technically a highway, but it was a busy road with 4 lanes. And I see like a dime on the ground, and I stop short. He goes like, "What are you doing?" My dime.
The way she bends down too is she can't really bend her knees.
I can't.
So she just goes it's like she's gonna topple forward. She's gonna go into like a full somersault, and we'll never be able to get her back up. So to do that in the middle of a highway is risky.
I call it iconic.
It is iconic. You're right. It's risky and iconic.
Yesterday I was at a yard sale and I bought an item for $0.25. I mean, the item cost $0.25. First of all, I was bugged because they didn't have prices on the items.
Oh, I do know to be negotiating. Yeah.
To know what it cost.
Yeah.
And anyway,
I agree.
So I didn't have any change. She told me it was $0.25.
The panic that sets in when they're like, just make an offer.
Yeah. I'm like, God, they're going to turn me down.
But you already have a preconceived notion of what you want to charge me. Why aren't you just telling me?
Yeah. Why are you so lazy that you haven't priced your items for this yard sale?
Although I've done that at my vintage pop-ups, but when I haven't been able to price something in
but
time.
you mostly price things.
Oh, I tried to price everything. Yeah.
Because it's hard to like give a high price to somebody.
Verbally?
Face to face.
Yeah.
But if you have it written down.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So she goes, "That's 25 cents. I'm like, I give her $1. Keep the change. I don't like change.
What was the item?
Plastic measuring cup.
You paid way too much for
I
that.
paid $1 for it. I probably could have bought it new for $1.
Yeah. Wow. But you know what? Reuse and recycle.
Why did you yell that?
My God. Did you guys know what happened?
I was excited because until a former student gave me a plant 2 years ago, I've never had a plant that's in my house here or much of any house. Did that make any sense? I've never had a plant. And she gave me this plant that had like desert sort of things in it. So it doesn't really need to be watered.
Succulents.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Why are they called succulents if they don't even really need to be watered?
They've already sucked it all up.
Anyway, I love this little plant because it's still alive 2 years later.
I'm honestly impressed.
I think the reason it is because it sits right next to my bowl of found money.
That's why it's alive. It's rich.
It's rich. It's succulent.
You should get it a tiny little desert wallet.
Anyway, I forgot where I was going there.
Were you using this measuring cup to water your succulents?
Oh, yeah. So then I was pretty excited because my last watering thing somehow, I didn't break it, but the man inside must have been it.
Man inside. You want to specify any further who the man inside is?
Yes, my husband.
The man that lives inside
The
your
man that lives
heart.
inside.
He runs the show.
I've broken it and didn't confess.
The man
The
inside.
man inside.
That sounds like a book you'd write.
Yeah, that could be the name
The
of my
man
memoir.
inside.
You know, it would be a good title for my memoir.
Or a porn.
My serious expression. No, Hilary.
No. Don't say porn.
So, moving on.
Okay, I do want to say. Wait. Did you bring me a letter to read?
Yes. This was from a guy I'd met once at a wedding. Let's say I wrote in my diary about him after he wrote the letter. This isn't very nice, I have to say. Apologize. Please apologize for my diary entry. April 14th, 1975. I've only met him once 2 years ago at my friend's wedding. What a winner. At first, I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. Why do I get all the losers? Love you. And then I signed my own name. Like I'm talking to myself. Love you.
Which reminds me of a story we do need to tell before we end this.
Okay. And then P.S. Needless to say, I did not go. So
Okay,
it
let's
was
see
the
how bad this.
invitation,
Let's
and you're not going to read the address, but other than that, I say you can read the rest of it.
Okay.
Complete.
let's see how awful this man is. Hi, Lynn. Long time no see. I promised you I'd teach you to use the 35 millimeter like an expert like me. Okay. Class starts 11 a.m. Saturday morning on January 18th, 1975. Don't be late. Okay. Why is he saying okay?
Exclamation point.
We'll take the camera out to 2 lights, and I'll teach you how to take all sorts of neat and nifty pictures. Okay. To write that is an interesting choice. Who knows? I could even make a picnic lunch, and it might even be a blast. I'll meet you at my place in Portland. Okay. If not, let me know where to pick you up. Okay. I would really love to see you again. I think you're a pretty neat chick.
Chick.
Wrong you're. Maybe that's why. Love ya, Mike.
Wrong.
P.S. If you can't make it to the 18th, let me know when you can. If you get this later than the 18th, we'll make the next Saturday sometime. Okay. Your admirer, Mike. Why did he... Okay, I have a few things to say. Your diary entry, a little bit bitchy.
Ooh,
Because this is actually like
I know it's
kind
sweet.
of cute.
I'm
and
sorry,
sweet
Mike.
and like nerdy in a very cute way.
I know.
But I will dock points for him writing okay about 15 times as if he's speaking.
I wonder if he said okay when he talked. Like I don't remember anything about him. I don't know what he looked like.
Oh, I feel bad for him.
I do too. He went out of his way.
He liked you.
I feel bad.
He's fine.
Okay.
Do you think he's a photographer now?
It would be great. I don't even know what his last name was.
I wish we could.
Or I could check into it.
Hey, if you're one of our few listeners, Mike, let us know. Oh, man. So this reminds me when you said, love you, Lynn, to yourself, signing your own name.
Yeah.
Can you please tell the story that you told me this morning on our walk about that I wish you didn't already tell me because I immediately was like, you need to tell this on the pod about
the memoir, etc.
Your friend running into someone you used to know.
Yeah. So my friend that I walk with many times a week ran into a mutual friend of ours that neither one of us had seen actually for a few years. And so this mutual friend said to my friend, "How is Lynn doing?" And my friend said, "Oh, she, she's got my friend doesn't know what a podcast even is. She doesn't get it.
She's very confused about what we're doing.
She's like, she's on TikTok or Instagram or something, and she's got this podcast, and she's writing a memoir, and she's pretty tied up in herself." But what you have to know about my friend, she was just being,
She's very dry.
speaking the truth, but she was just being funny.
She's just a dry
like,
humor.
Yeah. And she's doing all this. All she can think about is herself. No one said, "Oh, oh no." She's writing a memoir and doing all that stuff. I always thought of her as being so kind and compassionate and caring about people.
I'm so sorry to hear that she's writing a memoir. That's terrible. She used to be so kind. What happened? She's writing about herself?
For a moment, I'm like, wait, if a person, like, I get that you've got to be self-absorbed to a certain degree to be doing all the stuff that we're doing. I get it. I mean, you're putting yourself out there, you're telling stories about yourself, and you're expecting people to pay attention,
to care.
To care. I'm not sure that takes away from
being kind.
Right, that I can still be kind and caring
He
and
used to be so kind. I'm so sorry to hear that. I lost it when she told me that. That is one of the funniest reactions to someone saying like, "Oh, she's writing a memoir, she has a podcast." Oh my god, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's completely changed her.
She's so different. Oh
the thing
my
is,
god,
I'm no different than when I was 16, probably.
Well, that is for sure. I'm realizing through your diaries too. You are the same person, wholeheartedly. Oh my god. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that about you writing a memoir. I think that's just awful. And good catch. Okay, cat-like reflexes.
My stories are literally flying away.
Yeah, one by one, there they go. I do have one random note to add. That I saw a lunar moth,
and I had no idea what a Luna Moth was, is, etc.
You know now. This is your turn to learn something.
Yeah, I know. Luna means moon.
Uh-huh.
Moth means little form of a butterfly.
Is that the dictionary definition?
Little form of a butterfly.
I sent her a picture of this lunar moth that was on our camp, and I'm in a weird transition time in my life, and so I was like, "Oh, I think everything's a sign." So I'm like, "Oh," and I'm pretty sure our neighbors saw me just out there with my phone, like
crying,
crouched down, and like, "Oh wow!" And I was getting all these different angles, like with the flower box, and like. They're probably like, "What the hell is she doing?"
That's not the first time they've asked.
No. Soon after, brought me a margarita and a little pie for my birthday. They were like, "You're alone taking pictures of the camp wall. I think you need help." And they aren't wrong. But I saw the lunar moth, so I texted my mom and brother. Ryan did not care. And my mom goes, "Wow, beautiful. I don't know what it means, though."
Yeah, it's a beautiful picture, because it was.
What it means is it only lives for a week, and it means
it's a sign. So then that scares me.
It's a sign of new beginnings and death. Or death.
Get your conjunctions right.
But it could also death leads to new beginning. Death of a whatever. But I told her that I was hoping for the latter.
Yeah, I'd say.
Not for you to die.
Wait. I'm going to have to rewind this to see if you said that right. You were hoping for the latter, which was death? You told me I thought you were hoping for the other one.
The New Beginnings.
New beginning.
Both.
You sound like a student in middle school that, like, it wasn't at all paying attention and just was like, both.
Death to the old.
Oh, man.
Not you.
What does that mean? It.
To my old life. New beginnings. I meant it positively. The old.
Oh.
Woo! I'm in my Lunar Moth year.
If this is our last podcast, you know how that all turned out.
Yeah, sorry. And thank you for listening.
We'll have to call this a moth podcast.
A moth Clod prophecy.
No.
Do you know that movie? Mothman Prophecies?
No. That's a real thing.
Moth Clod Prophecies, I think, is a big hit for the title of this episode.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the one who writes it.
Oh. I do not claim the descriptions of these
Right.
episodes.
The hardest time writing, it's usually 2 sentences.
Sir, I'm not giving you 1 to 2 hours.
2 sentences.
She's a writer. Although, however, you are a writer, but you also just buy me birthday cards and underline words that are pre-written in the card. Best daughter.
I think what she's really alluding to is that her birthday was 3 days ago.
I didn't even get a
I
card.
didn't even get her a card this year. I couldn't.
No, but I'm gonna read the card that my best friend wrote to me, and okay, my best friend wrote me this card, but she didn't give me the card. We're in dinner, and she's like, "I started writing your card," and I was just like, have you ever started to write a card, and you're like, what am I writing? Suddenly I've written all these things that I'm like, what is this? So I made her give me the card, obviously, because I needed to see the card for myself. The front is a screaming child pulling her hair out with no words, just a screaming child pulling her hair out. And the card says, "I'm fine, and you?" She wrote, okay, this is a kind card, but the way she was describing it to me and then getting the actual card made me laugh so hard. I'm going through it in my life. So she's trying to be kind. She wrote, "Even though this is your current self-portrait," the screaming toddler pulling its hair out, "you have been working so hard on yourself. I know you will feel a cloud lifting soon. I'm always here for you. I love you the most. 34 will be eventful." First of all, she tells me she wrote "I love you the most," but then regretted it because she wasn't sure what that actually meant. And then I was like, I think that means you love me more than your child. I'm loved the most out of everyone, which is how best friendship should be. I'm just kidding. But then her ending it with, after just crying to her about something, and her saying 34 will be eventful. No, that's the end of the card. No punctuation, not signed. Just, it will be eventful. And also telling me the screaming toddler pulling her hair out is my self-portrait of this year. I'm like, this, you know what? Get you some friends who really know you and understand you, because this is now going to be framed and put next to maybe even the mirror where I'm getting ready. It's my daily affirmation.
I love it.
My daily affirmations. 34 will be eventful.
Yeah. Well, of course it will be.
Already has been.
Yep.
How many days have I been 34?
3.
Yeah. Yeah. It's already too much.
Yeah. 34.
34 will be eventful.
I had a 1-year-old at 34.
That's crazy. Which one of us was it?
It was your brother.
I know. That rascal. Well, if you guys can believe, this is the second time in a row that we recorded this episode. So if this one doesn't save, there's no hope for our future. And I blame the first one on the Lunar Moth I saw. It said death to the first episode.
What?
The Lunar Moth predicted the death of the first episode we tried to record.
Oh. But we did a good job doing it again, and we went in different directions a little bit.
We didn't tell all of our same stories, so
right.
Hopefully you liked it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Dead Gowns for our theme song, and we are gonna probably try and edit this now, maybe, if we feel like listening to ourselves talk for another 40 minutes, but maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
You don't love them?
Love you.
Sometimes she doesn't even say it to me when I hang up the phone.
True.
So don't take it personally.